Hello
Oh,
and welcome to our memory lane for 1984, the Golden Age. I am here with our final three of Nikita, Yoshi, and Bria. So we are here to allow the final three house guests to give their thoughts about the season and the individual house guests that they have voted up to this point. Um, so we will basically just go through all the house guests, starting from the earliest evicted to the latest evicted, and I will give everybody a chance to give their thoughts. I will rotate who begins each time. So we are going to start with Julian. Nikita, I'm going to have you go first.
All right. Well, as someone who entered the game as Julian's partner, I did get to speak with Julian probably the most out of everyone in the house, and I think he was a swell guy. However, I told him this in my goodbye message, and I'm telling this to him now. If he had not been so blabbermouthy, he probably wouldn't have gone home first. But, all in all, it was great getting to meet him. It was sad to have to campaign against him, but I'm sure he has a lovely career. I'll plug it for him. Go watch Trinity Survivor as Rob wins. I mean, oh no, it could be any of the three. Who knows? And, he's just a swell guy. It was great to meet him, even for the little bit of time. Thank you.
Okay, Yoshi.
um, Julian. Okay, he's never been that talkative to me. I don't know why, but Julian, I actually like him as a person. He's a really cool person, like down there, pretty chill, and laid back. He's just kind of cool when it comes to socializing. But I think Julian had potential to actually make it at least midway game. So, um, I think he had potential to do pretty good at this game, and I liked him. It was cool. That's it.
And Bria.
With Julian, I have like not a lot of words on him. He asked me for an alliance, and I didn't keep it only because everybody was kind of against him, and he didn't include me into his alliance. So I really have no word on him, but I do wish him the best of luck in other works.
Okay, so next we will move on to JG, who I still have not heard from since he left. Yoshi, you can start with JG.
Interesting character. Definitely kind of crazy. And he was in like a main cause, which was very entertaining. Fortunately, he fell off the face of the earth, and God be with him. That's all.
Okay, and Bria.
Well, there's not really a lot to say about Nikita's boyfriend. I do feel like that he is like really. I feel like he's a very like energetic guy because he was like so into this, but I guess I don't know. Nikita wasn't giving him that much love that he had to leave.
Okay, and Nikita.
Well, I'm so glad that the Wheel of Fate has chosen me to go last. Ah! No, I didn't know JG all that well, but he did seem to be a super fun guy, As even now looking at his profile, it has all of the GIFs of us and all of the GIFs of the past seasons. So I thought JG was going to be the super fan with spunk to look out for. But, I mean, as someone who's also been through the experience of going inactive in an org, it's, there's usually something else going on. So I wish him the best of luck, even though he's at 0 minutes playing a Survivor game right now. I'm sure he's living his best life. And, I never really got to know him in this competition. I didn't really develop a relationship of any sort with him, even if he did seem nice one way or the other. Yes, I don't know where you're looking at, Yoshi, but we did not develop a relationship one way or the other. So, I think he's great. And whenever I see him again, probably 10 years from now, it'll be good for him. So we love you, JG. actually, we like you,
Yeah,
JG.
Nikita definitely loves you.
No, yeah, I mean, I love everyone. I have a spot in my heart for everyone in this competition, but I did not develop any sort of relationship with JG, so I would just like to reiterate that again.
Okay. Move on to Jennifer. Bria, you can start.
Okay, wait, say that one more time.
Jennifer.
Me and Jennifer were supposed to have like an alliance, like a transgender alliance, but Jennifer was like, I don't know. Everybody just like did not like Jennifer. I personally did not know Jennifer, so when everybody wasn't liking her, I was just like, okay. And Jennifer honestly was not helping my game at all. So I did not. I mean, I'm sorry. I don't miss Jennifer.
Okay, Nikita.
Well, I, for one, think that Jennifer did get kind of a bad rep in this competition. I think that Jennifer was, like, we've all done stuff outside of the game that we're not proud of, but I feel like Jennifer was the only person that was really confronted on it inside of the house. And, you know, there's only so much you can do, and there's already so many people coming after you. And I think that despite all that, Jennifer did a great job and tried her hardest and represented herself to the best of the ability. And if things were different, maybe she could have stayed, and, you know, who knows where she could have gone from there. But I think she's a wonderful person. I wish her the best of luck. And, you know. I guess since we're spilling tea, the one thing about Jennifer, I mentioned this in the goodbye messages that the production forgot to send out, but I did say to Jennifer did say to me that she thought that she was the only reason I was still in the competition when I survived the first week. And that's why I was like, so, you know, maybe just a dash of luck, a sprinkle of good fortune, and a pinch of self-awareness could go a bit of a long way. So let's hope you get the right formula next time. Ding!
Okay, and Yoshi.
Jennifer, I'm so highly confused on like what happened to me and Jennifer, because we played YouTube Survivor together, and we were close allies. And then I hosted a whole org game for him on my YouTube, or her on my YouTube. And we come into this game, and then Jennifer screenshots my friend list. So I was kind of confused on that whole thing. But need to say the last. Even with all that crap that happened, I still like Jennifer as a person. Jennifer is a unique, misunderstood person, and I still have love for Jennifer. So, love you, Jen.
Okay, so now we will move on to Lauren. Nikita, you can start.
Well, I've seen Lauren around Tengage. Of course, everyone's seen the legendary Thumper 91, but I never really got the chance to develop a relationship with her on Tengage. And so I feel like this was the first time I really got to sit down and have a conversation with Miss Lauren. And I thought she was fantastic. She was very nice to talk to. She was very sweet. She lived up to everything, and she tried her hardest and everything. And I feel like that's to be commended. And the house definitely did feel different without her around. So it was nice to meet you, Lauren. I think the world of you. Thank you.
Okay, Yoshi.
I honestly, I love Lauren. And to be honest, it was kind of weird that people were saying like things about like my friend list, like certain people on my friend list, but no one said anything about Lauren. And Lauren's been on my friend list since forever. So that was just kind of crazy that nobody brought it up. But yeah, I love Lauren because she's just a natural vibe. And I like talking to her and everything. And Snapchatting. Love you, Lauren. Snapchat me.
Now for the one we've been waiting for.
Okay, and Bria.
Lauren, I feel like Lauren is a really good person. I think I made the wrong decision of targeting her at that moment, but then at the same time, I think I made the right decision. When people were saying that she was with Brian Camp and Chris and stuff like that, like, I mean, it was no other reason, but I feel like it was wrong because she said she didn't really do anything, but I mean, everybody says they're not going to target you when you're HOH. Like, let's be serious. Like, everybody's going to say they're not, like, you're not their target. So, I mean, that's really all I got to say about her. Like, good luck in the real world. Hope she does another meetup. Oh, I don't know what to say.
So next we will talk about Brian. Yoshi, you.
Ryan, I would say he's the least person I connected with. Didn't really have a lot in common with him. We didn't really have a lot to talk about. I don't hate him. It's just I don't know. We wouldn't have crossed each other's paths. This is what I'm saying. I don't hate him. I just don't care for him. Yeah, that's it.
Okay, Bria.
Me and Brian came into this game kind of together. He's the one who told me about this game. But I feel like that he was on the wrong side, and I feel like that he did not understand that side was actually targeting me. So that's the reason why I targeted them. But I mean, I wish Brian the best of luck. Like, we're not friends no more, but I mean, good luck to him. I mean, he's the one who told me about this game, so thank you, Brian, for telling me about this game.
Okay, and Nikita.
Yes. So, Brian was a very interesting character. As someone who likes to talk with everyone, just to like say good morning or hello or things like that, I found that with Brian, he wasn't that kind of person. And I did feel like he was more along the lines of only talking to people once he felt he needed to talk to those people. And so I think I mentioned this in the goodbye messages that once again never got out, but I do feel like Brian is one of those people where it's like, if you learn your lesson, once you're nominated, it's your job to apply it. You know what I mean? And I feel like Brian didn't really apply like the things he should have learned from being on the block the first time. And I think that's kind of why the second time around it just kind of fell apart. I just don't think, overall, I don't think he wanted it more than most of the people. I think he's great. He's working on spamming Minnie out of shops, which, you know, sure, why not? But I'm sure he's doing just fine as a pre-juror. So go buy from Brian's shops and best of luck, you. Thank you.
Okay, so with that rounds out our pre-jury phase. So we will go now into the jury phase. So we are going to start with Napolito. Bria, you are first.
Okay, Napolito, the Mexican sensation. I feel like Napolito was robbed. I feel like he should have never went home. Who was he up against?
Grace.
Oh. Well, I like them both. So I feel like they both should have never been, like, you know, on the block. Napolito he was a fun person to have in the house. I'm really happy that I met him, and hopefully we talk after the show.
Okay, and Nikita?
All right. Yeah, as the official troublemaker sensation, it was definitely offensive to see that there was a Mexican sensation. I felt like I was being attacked. But I think Napolito's great. You know, he really struck a chord with me throughout this competition, even if he wasn't here for all that long. There's something about Napolito that just makes him so endearing. Where I feel like it kind of fell apart for Napolito is the same thing with Brian, where I felt like he knew what he needed to do in order to do well in the competition, but didn't do it until he was nominated. And I feel like moving forward, as an official RuPaul's Drag Race super fan, I'm now a judge. I think maybe if he was just more proactive, the season could have turned out so incredibly differently. But You know, he brought a lot of fun moments. I'm gutted that he never got to use his A/B true false box, you know. And he has a great love for this game, so I think he's awesome. And what's the? We made it. I made a super secret message with him. How to say goodbye in Spanish? Te quiero. Para siempre. Por ahora. Y luego.
Okay, Yoshi.
I'm sorry. Okay. Napolito is funny. He's charismatic, charming, all of that stuff, and I'm so glad I met him. To be honest, I mean, I'm glad that I got to know him on a deeper level. I'm sorry, and that it just, I don't know. There's a lot I can say about Napolito, but I adore him as a person, and yeah. Mm-hmm. That's all.
Okay, so next we go into our first victim of the double eviction, Mr. Cam. So Nikita, you are first.
I am. Okay, these gloves are dumb. Cam. I think Cam, to be honest, I didn't think Cam deserved to make it to the jury over some of the other people. But I do think that Cam was a nice personality to have hanging around. I think that those photographs that he would put on with the captions, 1 out of every 3 would get a good chuckle. And it was nice to have another Canadian hanging around. I think that Cam's sort of shortcomings were that he didn't really talk at all until it was a little too late. But I think he's a nice guy outside of the house. So I'm excited to see what sort of things can come around with him. I think he's cool from what I got to see. So go Cam.
Okay. Yoshi.
I honestly did not know Cam was funny. I didn't know. I thought Cam was just doesn't want to be bothered, kind of mysterious, just chilled, laid back, don't bother me type of guy. But he is honestly funny as fuck, and I'm glad that I got to see that side, because I was like, what is wrong with Cam at first? I was like, he's just still faces, still spirited, just, everything is just still. But he actually is really funny. He's cool, and I'm glad that I got to see the funny side of him, because it just showed me that you just have to, get the ball rolling and getting to know people to actually know who they are deep to their core. And that's all I have to fucking say. Love you, Kim.
Okay, and Bria.
There are some people that you see in works that you already have a pre-opinion on them, and I feel my opinion about Cam was very often the truth. Cam is
Sorry, I'll go on mute.
Cam is he's a really cool guy. I feel that Cam was I feel that he needs to show people more of his funny side, and because I feel people get a perception of him that he's boring. Is low-key what I think that people get an opinion, because that's kind of what I got. But actually being with Cam, I think Cam is a really cool person. I just I don't know, I guess like Nikita said, I don't think he should have got jury. Maybe the last pre-jury, but I think that he's a really cool person, and sad that he got robbed.
Okay, so now we will move on to Chris. Yoshi, you may begin.
Me? Okay.
Chris,
oh my god. Okay, this is Chris is the hardest person to even have came after, because Chris is just so freaking likable. Chris to me was like a brother to me, a genuine brother to me, and it was just so difficult, because I love talking to Chris, just socializing with him, and just natural comes in a quick instance, and that's why it was so difficult that I had the week that I had with him. But I freaking love Chris, to the moon and back. So I think nothing but the world of him. So that's it for Chris.
Okay, Bria.
What a lot of people didn't know is that me and Chris back in the day played a Bad Girls Club together, and we were in alliance together. And what really confused me about Chris is his like sudden like dislike towards me because like I didn't do anything to him. He's never vote him out, but that's because he like nominated me. But I mean, I like Chris. I liked him in like the BGC. I just didn't like him in the game because like his like hatred towards me really weird. But he's cool.
Okay, and Nikita.
Yes. I think Chris is a very cool cat. Chris is one of those people that has been around Tengage since forever. You know what I mean? He's been around the block and he has an amazing following, and it's easy to know why. He is charismatic to the point where it hurts, And I think Chris is just the amount, you could tell that he wanted to win this so badly. And I think that the energy Chris brought with him into the competition is irreplaceable. I think everyone was a little bit shocked when Chris went when he did, just because he was such a point of the season where everyone was like, oh, Chris, you know what I mean? So when he left, it was definitely a different house, a different everything. And so it's props to Chris, and I can't wait to see him again. Oh, wait, I guess since I read the other people, I kind of have to read him. I think that where his shortcomings in the game were that, honestly, trusting X. That was funny. That was twisted, but it was funny. Chris, you should have known better. Flash on you. Thank you.
Okay, so next we will talk about X. Bria, you may begin.
Oh, please save me for last.
Okay, with X, he was nice at the start, but we had a couple arguments. One where he told me to shut the fuck up. So, I mean, my opinion on him is not the best, but I mean, he played the game hard. I mean, I would hate to go out with a shaven eyebrow, but he played the game hard. He played it good to an extent. Maybe throwing people under the bus wouldn't be the best option. Especially like when you don't really have like real tea on them, maybe throwing them under the bus would not be the best thing to do in the world. But him being out is A-okay with me. I think that he should have got out about where Cam's spot is. I don't think he should have been here long enough, but it's good. X is okay.
Okay, Nikita, you are.
Oh, I don't get to go last. Well, I think X was a player who prided himself on being honest and on being open and on being a team player. And as someone who has outlasted him, I can say that I didn't see any of those qualities come into play. I think that X won competitions and, takes pride in being the big bad wolf and the villain of the season. So good on that for him. He did that, but, he definitely was a liar, a manipulator, a schemer, a backstabber. And on top of that, he has no respect for people when things don't go his way. The fact that he acted like such a child when Jonah did so much as nominate him. Oh, you just made a move for 3 other people and I'm sending you home. And Nikita, you're preaching false hope. Tim, your hairline's gray. Grace, I don't like. Girl, for someone who says they respect other people, you didn't respect anyone. You didn't care about anyone's interest except your own. And on top of that, you lied about all of your commitments in this competition. Like, And the fact that he says he has no regrets, clearly if you're going on the blogs after and saying, this is what should have happened, I knew it, girl, you do care. You do care and you do have regrets. And the thing that I'm just so happy to know is that someone who treated me that way, I outlasted, I pwned, and I did that. And I guess it's just one of those things where good triumphs over evil, I feel like. He wants to be known as a villain. He can be known as a villain. And the villain never wins. Now, I'm going to go enjoy burning all the marshmallows in my nearby store. See you soon.
Okay, and Yoshi.
Enjoy what's left.
Oh my god. Okay, I'm sorry. X. Okay, playing the game was like playing sort of like with fire. No pun intended. But it definitely was. It had its perks and then it had its struggles. Because X wants to do what X wants to do. And there's pretty much nothing you can say about it except for play your own game or try to play over him. I don't know. And I agree with Nikita with the whole villainous thing. I feel like there's being naturally a villain and then there's trying to be a villain. And I definitely seen that. But I feel like he is a good person. He just comes off across, sometimes not the most likable, but I do think that he is genuinely a good person and that he has a good heart. He just has a hard time showing it.
No, he has a great time showing it when he spammed to win favorite house guest, but I guess it didn't show then, so.
Okay, next we have
Oh my God.
M. Nikita, you are first.
Oh, you don't want me to go last on this one either? Now, what can I say about Tim? Now, Tim is a cool guy. He's good at quizzes. He's got good geographical skills. However, in this game, he did a lot of things that rubbed me the wrong way, and which involved lying about me behind my back and throwing me under the bus and then not owning up to it. And then when he's had to own up to it, it's like, oh, it's not that big of a deal. It is a big deal. I think that Tim made a lot of decisions in this competition of, oh yeah, and Michael, yes, I have no proof of X spamming, but we'll just see. But Tim, so I think that Tim made a lot of moves to try and further himself that came at my expense. And it's a shame because he's a cool guy, but like in this competition, especially, like we don't appreciate that. I'm sure outside of the season, he'll be an amazing person to get to know. As someone who was partnered with him, it was cool. And he's the only person to find an advantage in this season. So I think that goes to show, how bad he wanted it. I think really his shortcoming came down to just, he got painted as the next big villain after X left because of how sporadic his game was. And so there's only so much to be done there, especially when you aren't there for the eviction. So I think Tim's cool. I wish him the best of luck, and hopefully he can keep my name out of his mouth until then. Thank you.
Okay, and Yoshi.
Oh, Tim. Okay, me and Tim have a weird history. We have like a history of voting each other out, like in games. But I always made it known to myself. I told Tim I'm going to make him my best friend. I don't know how yet, but I am. And then I did this to him, and so I know Tim probably hates my guts right now, but still, I'm gonna somehow make him my best friend. I don't know how, but I'm still in. And yeah, I don't know. Tim is an awesome person. Like he's an amazing person. I do think he way overly strategizes sometimes and overly thinks. But I do think he's a good game player, and obviously he's smart as hell. And that's pretty much it. I just hope he forgets me because he has no choice but to be my best friend. Like I'm going to be his stalker. So that's it. Okay. I'm done.
Okay, and Bria.
I feel like Tim played the game, but I feel like he played it. I mean, obviously he did good because he's out, but I think that he needs to really work on when he asks somebody for something. Don't demand it. Like sometimes he like gets smart for something that he wants, and I thought that was pretty irritating. How like he'd be like, "Oh, are you voting me out? Like you better not vote me out." Like stuff like that. Like that shit like made me want to vote him out. But Tim, I think that he's a funny person. That's all.
We will now move on to the second victim of a double eviction, Miss Grace. Yoshi, you are first.
Grace. Oh gosh. Look, okay. Grace, she's high spirited, fun energy, and obviously social. I like Grace personally. I liked Grace for a long time. We played the Stars together. We played, games together, and so I just knew that she was likable and that she's a lovable person. And I'm still gonna like her and love her after the game, no matter how she feels about me. And honestly, that's pretty much it. I just know that she's an amazing person, and she plays a very good social game. Unfortunately, that's what made her a threat to me, and that's why things panned out the way they panned out. Yeah, that's it.
Okay, and Bria.
Grace is my I Love Money sister. She like me and her like kind of. I mean, she didn't like me because of a little vote, but I have nothing but love for Grace. I think that Grace is a very like. I think she's a like huge sweetheart and like a huge softie, and I feel like that Grace, she deserves nothing but the world, and I love that girl.
Okay, and Nikita.
Yes. I think Grace is probably one of the more underrated players of this season. I think that she did a wonderful job with the kind of hand that she was dealt in this contest. And I think after that double, that after Grace left, it was like, oh gosh, now it's getting really dark and sketchy because Grace is not here, I think that had Grace had, survived that week or so, or even won a competition along the way, that this entire season could have been totally different. And I feel like, especially if Grace had survived that vote, she could be easily taking one of the spots that the three of us have. She's just that good. But I think she's wonderful. I think she did an amazing job. And she definitely left her mark on this season. Oh, and drop it down low. Love you, Grace.
Okay, next is Jimmy. Bria, you are first.
Please tell me what she's
Jimmy is one of those people that I don't really consider a game player. Like, he even admitted that he's like a flip-flop type of person. Like, it depends on what it is. Like, he'll change so quickly. And it was very weird to me. It was weird whenever he wanted Jonah out, but then made an alliance with Jonah. I was like, I don't know. I was very confused. And then when I was his target, like, just like a person down the line, he's one of the three people that I never knew what his obsession with hating me was. I just thought that maybe he just wanted to find somebody to hate on, and he found me. So that's what I gotta say. Jimmy is a good person. I'm glad I met him. He was fun while he was here.
Okay, Nikita, you are next.
Oh, goody. I think Jimmy's a great, great person. Jimmy is probably one of my favorite people across this season. And I said this in my goodbye message to him too. I think the fact that he is the oldest juror and I'm the youngest juror was a really night. Like, we just got each other. He was super sweet. Where I don't agree with is that I feel like he made numerous strategic mistakes along the way. I think that it's a shame that we couldn't work together as close as I had wanted to because of you know, things have played out differently. I feel like there could have been a real future for Jimmy and I, but unfortunately, we were on the block together, and there was not really much I could do to support him from there. I think he's a great guy. I learned a lot about Texas Town from him, and I think he's awesome. And yeah, I wish him the best of luck in the future. Fun fact, I met Jimmy, well, I didn't meet Jimmy, but Jimmy was playing T-Viver a long time ago. And I was a spectator. And I remember going to Jackadu's Mails and being like, hey, this is like week 2, but I think everyone's underestimating you. And you seem really cool. I hope you do well. And he was like, oh my God. And I was like, oh my God. But to actually get to meet him face to face was really cool. And I don't regret it for a second. And good to meet you, Jimmy. For real. Thank you.
Okay, and Yoshi.
Okay.
Yeah, let me sit for this one.
Jimmy. Okay, my heart is completely shattered because I know Jimmy probably would never ever forgive me, like ever. But me and Jimmy had a really rocky relationship. Like we did play YouTube Survivor together also, but he voted me out and he ended up winning the game. And then yeah, we played a group game, and then he did vote me to win when I made his final too. So it was just, but then I voted him out in another game. So it was just, I don't know, we just back and forth thing. But this felt so differently because I felt like I've gotten so close to him that it was just unimaginable how close to that. I got to him, and he was one of my favorite people to talk to intellectually because he would talk about computer data stuff and podcast stuff and just stuff. I like learning new stuff and stuff like that. So the fact that I got so close to him, it absolutely shattered me from the inside that he was so hurt by me. And I just know he's gonna hate me, but I still love Jimmy. Even after this, he probably will never speak to me again, but I still love him. So that's how it goes.
Okay, and lastly, we have Jonah. Nikita, you are up first.
Yes. Now, Jonah, I would say Jonah spoke around the same amount as Cam. But the difference between Jonah and Cam is that I feel like Jonah, I didn't realize it until after his elimination, but I feel like he really, really wanted to be here. I could feel that emanating from him. And Jonah is one of those that shocked me. You know, he tried really hard, and he has his own Jonah-isms and way to go about things that is so completely polar opposite to the way that I do things that it was just he's on another planet, and I'm fascinated by his life. Even though Jonah and I never really got the ability to talk that much, I still feel like I made a friend with Jonah. And Tangage really got behind him as well. Tangage loves Jonah. And so I did say this to him in his goodbye message. So sorry, Becca Joe 60. I'm sorry, girl. We'll tag you after this gets out. But, you know, I think Jonah did a splendid job. I think he's a splendid person, and he did all that he could do. He was fierce competition. Oh, although I will say when he was saying his goodbyes, he was totally throwing shade at us, but oh, I would have won. Oh, okay, so now the rest of us gotta go home. But I think he's a cool guy. I think he did a great job, and I can't wait to see him in All Stars. I'm sure he'll slam the competition into the ground there as well. Yeah.
Okay, next is Yoshi.
I actually, okay, in the beginning, I was he doesn't really speak that much, so I was kind of I don't know about Jonah. I don't know about this kid. But then, as time went on, he started, talking more and more, and I actually started vibing with him. And it was kind of one of those people, it was one of those situations where you meet someone who you think, you have nothing in common with and that you wouldn't get along with at all, but you actually end up, really vibing with them on another type of level. And he was just cool to talk to and stuff like that. And he was one of those unexpected people that I didn't really think that I would vibe with at all, but I did. So I was wow. Okay.
Okay, and lastly, we have Bria.
Okay, so me and Joni. Me and Jackson. Jonah. Sorry. Me and Jonah's experience started in Devon Survivor, where I outlasted him or whatever. Then in All Stars, he outlasted me and targeted me because of Becca. Then in I Love Money, I outlasted him not once, but 2 times. And in this game, I guess he had like such big vengeance towards me, and he had a plan to get me out the whole time, despite me him being my partner. I really don't know what is Jonah's obsession with hating me, as well as the other 3. It was very confusing because I asked him if we could like put the past behind us and actually work together this time, but Lord and behold, he was working with Chris. Kind of explains a little bit of it, but he made a deal with me, and it was to get Nikita out. Now,
wait, when was this?
Huh?
When was this?
This was kind of when we were in duos.
Gag. God, Jonah!
When I was HOH. And then after that, we made another deal. And the other deal was that he was not going to nominate me if he got HOH. He broke that deal. And I obviously broke the Nikita deal, but like, it's just like, he was dumb for making that deal when Nikita and Tim were the only people not in the other alliance. So, anyways, I broke that deal. So he like broke all his other deals and then asked me to save him over Yoshi, which is just like, he does not like me, and I don't like him. But I hope for the better of him in another org. I hope that he does good in it and actually is there, because sometimes people even show up to the competition. I didn't either, but I still managed to, pop back in. He didn't. That's really all I have to say about Jonah, sorry.
Girl, just take your shaker bottle and leave.
Yeah.
Okay, so with that is our memory lane for season 3. So thanks to all 3 of you on making this far. We will be doing the finale this Sunday at 7 p.m. So good luck to all 3 of you. So I'm going to end the recording. Thank you to everybody who has watched this season, who has rooted for your favorites. I hope you guys have enjoyed it. So thank you.